National outrage over police-involved shootings, race, even attacks against police. Find local leaders organizing a candid conversation, and they want to hear from you. Today is Tuesday, July 12th. 12 News Today starts now. We are right on the front lines. As you can see behind me, officers are lined up, ready to go, prepared for the very worst. We're talking about 300 power outages right now. As I speak, over my shoulder, you can see the work underway. Drove right through a barricade just like this one. And what's more, the entire ordeal was caught on camera. Over my shoulder here, you can see the cranes and heavy machines right here at the site. I want to walk right over here and show you. Thank you for waking up with us on 12 News Today. I'm Brent Solomon, and we have team coverage tonight with Brittany McDonald standing by at the hospital where the victims were taken. But first, just a tip for all the reporters out there, and all professionals for that matter, maybe take a break from Pokemon Go, at least while you're at work. Accurate. Why on earth would anyone target your license plates? That's the question police are answering when you join us for the news in 1 hour. And many neighbors here are calling this one the gate that leads to nothing. That's because we're talking about blighted properties here. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. Let's walk right over here and take a look behind me. So we want people to get out, enjoy the day, enjoy this weather.
Looking great.
Very good. And be sure to join us, guys, at 6 o'clock because the news continues this evening. Make it a great day. When you see signs up like this, authorities say they're on the road for good reason. But they say a Mechanicsville man paid that no mind, and now he's behind bars. The chaos erupted out of nowhere, leaving nearby spectators in a frenzy.
So we were very concerned.
That's because just before the crash, Christy Lance saw this black Camaro traveling along Monument, where cars are not allowed during the Richmond 2015 races.
It zoomed past our house and made a very aggressive U-turn and then went the other way. And we thought, well, that's the end of that. They'll take care of him. But then we saw him coming back down again. And
this time, there were at least 3 police cars behind him.
You can tell that they're clearly chasing him.
Then, all of a sudden,
he just made a 45-degree turn right into the barricades and drove right through them.
Crashing at Monument in Davis, according to police.
You're obviously going, what's he doing?
Police say suspect Michael Ciolino was under the influence, almost running over officers during the entire ordeal. One cop suffered minor injuries, a police car damaged in the process. At the height of the races,
the median and the sidewalks were packed.
But witnesses say at the moment of impact, it was a stroke of luck. The crowd had simmered.
We ran into a woman who said that she'd been there for 2 hours and there had been people there consistently the whole day, and for some reason, at that moment, there was nobody there.
I asked police if they're making any changes as the race continues this week. A spokesman saying, quote, "Our response protocol worked as designed, and we will continue as planned." Police tell me they believe this is an isolated incident and not connected with any of the protests we've seen against the race traveling through Monument Avenue. On your side, Brent Solomon, NBC 12.
On your side, Brent Solomon has the story new at 11.
This fell asleep with a needle in his hand, ran into my car.
Could this be real?
He's got his daughter in the back seat.
One driver posting the video on social media, claiming his commute in Atlanta went horribly wrong after being hit by a drug driver.
You do? How much you think you got on you?
Similar scenarios are happening here in Central Virginia. For purposes of this report, let's call this guy Neil. He lives in the Richmond area and admits he often smokes pot before getting behind the wheel.
Everybody's doing it. Babysitters, doctors, lawyers.
He says he wasn't high at the time of our interview.
Let's say if I'm going to drive at least an hour, I'm going to smoke some marijuana. It just makes the drive better.
That's what has local safety leaders worried. Researchers say a decline in alcohol-related accidents have had a negative consequence, an increase of crashes involving drivers high on other drugs.
Cocaine, heroin, crystal meth, it's all out there.
And they're doing these drugs and driving?
Yes, sir.
And here's the problem. Unlike alcohol, which may take a few drinks to get you drunk, experts say drugs like heroin immediately impacts the driver, causing many to pass out right on the road.
When you get to 9, I just want you to make a smooth turn.
Sergeant Edward Pierpont of Chesterfield Police demonstrating common tests his officers are using to determine if a driver is high, even putting me to the test.
Do you step off line? Do your heels not touch the toe?
Drugged drivers are being ordered off the roads, charged with DUI as they sober up in jail. And check this out. It doesn't have to be an illegal drug. You can be under the influence of a prescription that's left you too high to drive.
Even though you may be taking it legally, behind the wheel of a vehicle, it could affect your coordination and your reflexes to the point that you are considered impaired and you would be in violation of the law.
In Chesterfield, Jefferson Davis Highway tops the list of DUI arrests with multiple cases this year. South Chippenham Parkway near I-95 isn't far behind. In Henrico, West Broad Street is keeping police busy with 67 DUI arrests this year. And in Richmond, Hull Street is a drunk and drug driving hotspot. Neil says he's never caught a charge and just doesn't see the problem driving high.
I become the car. I can feel the road. I'm doing the speed limit. I may do 5 miles over and just cruise the whole way.
You may feel comfortable behind the wheel, but you also could be impaired.
Which is causing crashes nationwide, many of them fatal, at the hands of a driver who only wanted a fix.
You have marijuana in the car? Oh, sir. Are you around it tonight? The reason why I'm asking is because I smell it.
On your side, Brent Solomon, NBC 12.
Brent?
The popular website draws in visitors with this charming video encouraging you to book a home away from home. But a Richmond man says when he tried, he was told no way, and he believes he knows why.
Feel at home, anywhere.
The convincing advertisement was all it took for 25-year-old Gregory Selden.
A lot cheaper alternative than to use in a hotel.
So when he was looking for a place to stay in Philadelphia, he loved an option he saw on Airbnb.
In his ad, it said, stay in the heart of, Philadelphia. So I was like, this is cool, $78, this is a good deal.
He made contact with the property owner.
But when I went to request it, he got back to me the next morning, told me that the space was unavailable. At that point, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, cool.
But hours later, Selden saw the same ad still visible for other travelers to book.
Normally, when a place is filled, it won't show up, as available on there.
Keep in mind, your Airbnb profile shows your face. So Selden got creative and created 2 fake profiles using the faces of a younger and an older white man. One was named Jesse.
And the other was Todd.
Jesse and Todd.
Right. So,
just fictitious names.
Right. So when I reached out to him under the fake profiles, subsequently he accepted both of them.
The property owner even told the man behind the fake profile he was the first to inquire. Selden believes he was denied because of his race. He reached out to Airbnb as soon as it happened, but says he didn't get a response until months later, after his story went viral online. This week, he got this email from the company asking to arrange a phone conversation.
Although the individual was renting a private home, people would say, hey, can't you do whatever you want with your private home? The fact is that he opened it up to the public, renting the home and the space to the public. And the law is, once you do that, you're not allowed to discriminate.
Legal analyst Steve Benjamin says federal law stands on the side of a victim who can prove racial discrimination. When Selden confronted the property owner, he says he got this response. Quote, "It's a disappointment. People like you always victimize yourselves solely on the basis of skin color."
Yeah, I'm not sure what you meant by you people, but it didn't really sit too well with me. Really not looking for any kind of sympathy at this point. Really, I just want to see some kind of change in their policy.
After this whole ordeal, Shelton said never mind. He booked a hotel instead. And he's speaking out in hopes someone else won't have to share this same story. On your side, Brent Solomon, NBC 12.
On your side, NBC 12 News starts with breaking news.
All right, we kick things off with breaking news right now. It's coming out of Hanover County. That's where sheriff's deputies have a man in custody charged with first-degree murder. 64-year-old Willie Bibbs in custody this noon, and it all stems from a suspicious car crash. Thursday, officers responded to Mechanicsville Turnpike and found 24-year-old Sharice Branch with a gunshot wound to the head. Bibbs was also in that car but was not injured. There was another person in the car, a 3-year-old, who happens to be the victim's daughter. We're told the child is doing just fine. And another update breaking at noon. The teenager involved in an early morning crash in Chesterfield has died. Police say 19-year-old Logan Neal of Midlothian veered off of Lake Bluff Parkway and ran into a tree. Now, it happened just after midnight. Neal was airlifted to the hospital where he later died. Be prepared for soaring temperatures that you will certainly feel as you head outside. Meteorologist Megan Wise on your side to keep you safe during this heat wave. And Megan, we are issuing a first alert action day for both Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, Brent, it is.
All right, great advice. Drink plenty of water. And the city of Richmond is actually opening 2 different cooling stations today to help you get through this heat. There will be bottled water available, and keep in mind, only your service animals are allowed, no pets. Well, we're keeping a close eye on Hillary Clinton's campaign. She's expected to announce her vice presidential running mate very soon. And right now, all signals point to Virginia Senator Tim Kaine. We spoke with Kaine's wife outside of their Richmond home. She told us the senator wasn't there, and now many are wondering if he is meeting with Clinton or even making his way to South Florida, where the candidate will make her VP announcement. Count on 12 to keep you updated. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is leaving his convention week on a high note, moving forward with a game plan to compete against Clinton. Tracy Potts has a look ahead from Cleveland, where the RNC is wrapping up.
Good, back to you.
Tracy, thank you. Now moving closer to home to Prince George, where police have arrested a suspected bank robber who struck earlier this week. 57-year-old Emery Smith is charged with robbing the BB&T Bank on Wednesday. Now, he's being held at Riverside Regional right now. Police released surveillance video earlier this week, and you see it right there. Thanks to numerous tips, they were able to actually make the arrest. Happening today, prosecutors are expected to rest their case in the trial of a man charged with killing a Virginia state trooper. The Times-Dispatch reports prosecutors called 26 witnesses over the past 3 days to make their case against Russell Brown. He's charged with killing Master Trooper Junius Walker. The defense expected to begin presenting its case today. Right now, state police searching for a driver who crashed on 295 around 1 this morning, actually flipping into the woods. Let's take a look at the scene near West 100 Road. This is where troopers tell us a driver ran off the road, knocked over several trees, and flipped over. When officers arrived, the car was abandoned. The ramp to West 100 Road was closed for a couple of hours while crews worked the scene, but it is now open again. Well, if you're on the market for a job, you'll want to head on over to Powhatan. Right now, Dominion is looking to fill 800 construction jobs. These workers will build 3 solar facilities in Central Virginia. And that job fair is taking place at the Powhatan County Public Library on Mann Road, happening right now and lasts until 3 this afternoon, so you still have some time. You can also apply online or call the number on your screen. General construction experience is required, but on-the-job training will also be offered. Well, how tech savvy are you? Maybe we can help. Our own Heather Sullivan will be at the RVA Technology Jam, and it happens shortly. This is a conference happening downtown, and it features the latest innovations in technology, local tech startups, and how to pitch new technology ideas. Now, Heather is moderating a panel discussion about the lack of female and minority software engineers. It gets underway in less than an hour at the Carpenter Theater, so for more info, go to rvatechjam.com. Well, get ready for a food truck bash that will take over Richmond this weekend. Organizers of the Diamond Food Truck Bash will have over 30 businesses cooking up good eats. After seeing the success of the Central Virginia Food Truck Rodeo, the Diamond wanted to do something similar. So this event will include Boca Taco Truck, Carytown Burger and Fries, and King of Pops. There will also be live music so you can get down while you grub. The Food Truck Bash is tomorrow at the Diamond. Admission is free and food and beverages are pay as you go. Well, time is running out to sign up for a chance to party with meteorologist Andrew Frieden at a Flying Squirrels game. You'll also get a parking pass plus food, drinks, and Flying Squirrels merchandise for you and a guest. The deadline to enter is Sunday night. Well, still ahead, a Pokemon Go bust. The inappropriate place. A reporter gets called out for trying to catch them all. But first, new developments in the case of a canine who died in the back of a hot police car. Find out if the police officer will face any charges.
And if you plan on driving.
Welcome back. Now at noon, the funeral is underway for Officer Matthew Gerald. Gerald is one of 3 officers killed in Baton Rouge last weekend. The 41-year-old is a former Marine and Black Hawk crew chief. He was only in his first year on the police force. Gerald leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Funerals for the other 2 officers are set for tomorrow and Monday. New today, we're learning a California police officer whose K9 was found dead in the back of a hot patrol car will not face criminal charges. Authorities say the dog, named Idol, died after being left in the car for over an hour in June. The police chief says the cooling system in the car failed. Since the accident, the police chief says the department has implemented new guidelines to make sure officers are checking on their dogs more frequently. And the search for missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 will be suspended if the plane is not found in the current search area. The aircraft, with 239 people on board, disappeared back in 2014. Almost $135 million have been spent on the underwater search, spanning more than 40,000 square miles in the Indian Ocean. Malaysian officials say there has been no new credible evidence. Well, NBC 12 is working to clear the shelters this Saturday. Our goal is to help all the homeless pets in Central Virginia find their forever homes. The Richmond SPCA is here to tell us all about how you can help. That's just ahead when the news at noon continues.
It is going to be a hot week.
All right, welcome back. Now your time is 12:16, and we want to turn things over to traffic now because there are some ramp closures you'll need to know about with construction headed our way. So Tracy Lynn is standing by now. Tracy, what do you got for us?
All right, start.
You're playing the Pokemon thing right there, aren't you?
I'm just keeping an eye on it.
All right, it happened Thursday as State Department spokesman John Kirby was briefing reporters about the fight against ISIS. It clearly distracted Kirby while delivering the report.
This is why we convene this important ministerial and will continue to work with our coalition partners to defeat Daesh. Did you get one?
No, the signal is not very good.
Sorry about that.
All right, so just a tip for all the reporters out there and all professionals for that matter, maybe take a break from Pokemon Go, at least while you're at work.
Accurate.
Brent.
All right, Megan, thank you so much. And I'm having fun here. Meet our friend Abdul. How cute is he?
Isn't he a handsome little guy?
I love it. Well, Tabitha joins us from the SPCA, and we're really working to what we call clear the shelters. And so tell us about this initiative.
Well, it's a wonderful initiative that NBC Universal started and that we are so glad that NBC 12 here in Richmond has done. For the second year now, the Richmond SPCA has been part of this, and it's a wonderful initiative to find all the dogs and cats who are homeless in local shelters homes. And in conjunction with this, we at the Richmond SPCA are waiving our full adoption fee tomorrow, Saturday, the 23rd.
Did I hear that right? You're waiving the fee.
We are completely waiving the adoption fee. And adopting from the Richmond SPCA is always a great value because the pets in our care are already spayed and neutered. They're up to date on age-appropriate vaccinations. They're microchipped for permanent identification. And our adopters get to become clients of our full-service, low-cost Susan M. Markel Veterinary Hospital.
I love it.
So you're getting all of that. The adoption process is not changing at all. So people will still go through the adoption interview. They need to have a valid ID with a current address. And if they're adopting a dog, they can either bring their own leash and collar or buy one at our gift shop. If they're adopting a cat, they can bring their own carrier or buy one in our gift shop.
And needless to say, Abdul will be there.
He will. This little guy is 4 years old. He is a seizure dog who is on some medication. So we'll go over his medical record with you and talk about his ongoing needs, and you can take him home and help us then make room to bring other dogs from area shelters into our care and save their lives.
What a great mission. So let's remind people, tomorrow, what time frame?
Well, we are going to be open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. There are various other shelters in the area that are participating, and I believe people can find their hours on your website.
On NBC12.com.
Absolutely.
You're great at this. We need to have you stop by more often.
Well, thank you very much. We're so grateful for NBC 12 for this wonderful support for pets in our care.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
All travel lanes will remain open.
Tracy Lynn keeping us posted, and thank you for joining us. Have a good one.